Hello and welcome back to Dark Souls 3. This is part 14 of our Halberd run. Last time we went through the Grand Archives, getting the fourth and final Sorcery Scroll, along with the fourth and final Cinders of a Lord. And this time, we're going to be going through an optional area. So you're going to need the Path of the Dragon gesture, which you get all the way back right after Dancer by beating Osiris. So once you do that, then you come back here to Irithyll Dungeon, and you can make your way through a pretty simple path. Just heading past these enemies, and then moving over to the left. And then here, there's a drop down, and that's a shortcut door that you should have gotten. Now, heading past those enemies, you might lose a decent chunk of health, but 1 to 2 heals should bring you back. But right after that elevator, you can move over to here, and you can use Path of the Dragon next to these statues, and if you wait long enough, you'll get yourself a cutscene. Outside of like that little screech at the end, there's really no fanfare here. You don't even get a area title pop-up when you first reach here. You just get a pathway and some rocks you can kick down, which you should always do that. It's way more satisfying than it probably should be, but very, very satisfying. But there, Archdragon Peak, and an enemy we've seen once, but still, even though we've seen them once, I think it's fair to call them a new enemy, because it was only one lone one, and there was no fanfare to them at all. They didn't have their own area. Nothing. They just existed. Ooh. Did we just one-shot them? I think we one-shot them. Neat. But you go through a few enemies, and pretty quickly you can find yourself a bonfire. So, it's not a free instant bonfire after the cutscene, but you don't have to do a whole lot to get it. Just get past a few normal enemies. But here, Titanite chunk. Up here, normal enemy. Sometimes we're 2-shotting, sometimes we're 3-shotting. Well, here's the Ancient Dragon Great Shield. which a wooden shield bearing the image of an ancient dragon very slowly regenerates HP. It does 2 HP per second, just like the Sun Princess ring. So if you do both of them, then you get 4. And it's pretty good. Ow! That was rude. But they were just up there. So we kill them. Another chunk. And then over here... I think it might be like we have to hit them with the blade part in order to get the 2-shot. But past them, lightning clutch ring. And you can kind of see a statue. But continuing on, there's a lever. We can pull the lever to open this up. And from there, the ancient wyvern. So we're just gonna run past most of this area. Up to and including the boss. And also they breathe fire, which can kill some of the enemies. Like this enemy here. I was about to say, sometimes the fire hits, sometimes it doesn't. It seems a little inconsistent, but it worked fair enough there, I suppose. Two shots, beautiful. And here, there's an enemy trying to pull a sneaky. For some reason they went in the opposite direction. But okay. Now you can go up here, because if you go across that bridge, the enemy we just killed will shoot you. And also, for some reason, sometimes, it's pretty rare, but sometimes going over here will kill the ancient wyvern. I mean, I know why. It's because once they die, and 2 Titanite chunks. But it's because sometimes they'll turn to look this way, and then they'll fall off the map. Mostly, like, right over here, because this is when you're the closest to them. But, yeah, pretty rare. But here, try plunging attack. As you can see, sometimes they get up and they breathe fire. And also that thing breathes fire, so... lots of fire being breathed. And we don't want it. And that's the most dangerous of the 4. Because there's like... There's the ones with the hatchet, Chatel, whatever you want to call it. This one. There's ones with the Chatel and the Great Shield, which are slightly more dangerous. Then there's the ones with the Twin Daggers, who are way, way more dangerous. Because they attack a lot faster and they have a lunging attack, which can close a lot of distance. And they can stun lock with the Twin Daggers. And then those are the 3 small ones, and then you have the Great Axe one and the chain one, who are both a lot bigger. But you come over here, 2 Twinkling Titanite. For some reason they just start breathing fire into the air instead of doing anything. But here, weakness head, plunging attack. And you do a plunging attack. Lots of damage. Move over to this purely for the souls. You get Dragonstone head and a cutscene. Oh, this teleport, personal opinion, is super weird. Because while there is a bonfire right here, we can take a sip of the Estus. If we move forward, this is the ladder we climb to start doing the plunging attacks. So, might want to move over to this, because there's some falls here, but this is where we did the plunging attack. And if we instead go off to the left, where we can actually survive the drops, with this final drop, this is where we entered the fight. So, this is where they first landed. You don't really need a teleport for that. Like, yeah, sure, it saves you a tiny bit of time, but the player could have just walked back up. I don't see why the cutscene and teleport was necessary. But Ring of Steel protection right there. And here you can get a better look at those statues. And they're very cool looking. But continuing on, there's another soul. There's some lightning urns. This is where it took a few attempts to burn that enemy. We got another Titanite chunk. They're freaking out. Here we get 2 Twinkling Titanite. technically you could go get all of this during the fight, but then you have to deal with the Ancient Wyvern breathing fire on you, and where we got the Ring of Steel protection, it can like knock you off. So that's why I didn't do it there. But we did do that upper portion because the Ancient Wyvern doesn't breathe fire on you there. But here, there's a hostile hunter-esque NPC. So we can take them out. And that gets you the Drake Blood Greatsword. And here, there's a magic caster. And as you can see, they summon that knight. And leaving the caster alive and just killing the knight over and over again, very good for farming souls. That is a completely useless elevator. And here, ow. There's a Titanite scale, but there were two enemies, one on each side, so bit of a trap, but not too bad. But yeah, they summoned him again, and so we have to kill him again. No extra souls, or no extra sword, but some more souls. But from here we can get a Titanite scale. And those things like to be a pain in the butt, especially for slower weapon classes. Fast weapon classes, they're not bad, but they're protecting a Titanite scale. And then finally, at the bottom of this room, at this dragon, we can do Path of the Dragon, Gesture, and that gets you that Calamity Ring. So you can sell that. And then continuing forward, I'm not sure if you're even supposed to be able to do this, but you can get the Dragon Slayer Spear right here and now. But you don't get access to that section until after you beat the next boss. And there's some rewards there. There's also this variant. The one with the small shield. So I guess technically there's 6 variations of this enemy. But there's only really 2 or 3 to worry about. Like the ones with the Chatels, not a threat. Like, as you can see, I'm 100% willing to trade blows with them just because what are they gonna do? These twin dagger ones, can be a threat because of how fast they are. Also, at this final pillar, you can take a drop down and kill another twin dagger, one that's waiting and hiding. But yeah, it's only the twin dagger ones and these big ones that worry me. Twin dagger because they're fast. The big ones because they're big and don't stun easily. But if you have big weapon classes like great swords or halberds, it's not too bad. But up that ladder, you can get the Thunderstone plate ring. And then you can continue across this rickety bridge. And on this side, there's a crystal lizard. And you can make him run off there. And that gets you 3 Twinkling Titanite. And in this chest, you can get 3 Titanite scales. So together, those work. Ooh. Oof. Well. Like I said, because they can throw out that attack so quickly, and it does more damage than you might think. Slow weapon classes aren't very good against them. But also sometimes their AI breaks and they breathe fire. But alright. So you come up here. And there's another ancient dragon. But we're gonna do this. So if you run inside to take cover, then they move over there. But if you shoot them with a bow, then they fly up top. And then you can run up. And you can run up to the left here. Now, as you can see, just longbow +5 with wooden standard arrows. But if you take a few steps back near this plant, you can actually lock on. And your camera doesn't go that high up, but at my camera, or at my health bar, near the end of it, you can see their health bar. And you can see how we can't see them, but we are doing damage. And this does take a bit, but with just like a normal longbow and a ton of wooden arrows, maybe some standard arrows to go along with it, you can do this. And again, it takes a few minutes, but in my opinion, it's worth it. And as you can see, if you look at our health bar when we started shooting, and if you look at our health bar now, the Sun Princess ring, while by itself it isn't super potent, it does make a dent in your health bar over time. A good dent. So, when we came in with basically 99 arrows, we had like 97 or 98. We are now at 54, and the dragon's health bar is over halfway gone. So at 31 strength and 30 dex, with a +5 longbow and normal wooden arrows, which only cost 5 souls apiece. So it's only like 500 souls for an entire stack. And you can bring down this ancient wyvern. Again, it takes a few minutes, and it takes a lot of stamina bars, but it can be done. And we're back to full health. And just like that, one more. And just like that, the ancient wyvern is down. That gets you 6 Titanite chunks, 3 Titanite scales, and 3 twinkling Titanite. And those things are still alive, but I don't care. We're just gonna keep moving on. Where here, he gets summoned, but here's where the summoner is, so you can take them out. And he doesn't have as much health or defense, so you can take him out pretty easily. And that gets your Rickard's weapon. Now here, to travel the path of the dragon, do not ring the great bell. And there's the great bell. Nothing will remain once the bell is tolled. So if you want to ring the bell, you can. If you don't want to ring the bell, you don't have to. But moving over here, there's a summon sign for Hawkwood the Deserter. And I'm actually going to summon him. Now, I mentioned earlier that for Dark Souls 3, I'm going to have a new rule where I can only summon an NPC 3 different times. He's already dead. But Hawkwood here and now is an exception. I'm not going to put a limit on how many times we can summon Hawkwood here. Very specifically because you don't summon him here for the boss. You summon him here partially to take out this big old group of enemies, but partially for a quest thing. But as you can see, these guys just keep coming. Not forever, but for a good while, they just keep on a-coming. Like, This is the end of the group, but man, it just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. Now, thankfully, it does end eventually. And off here to the left, there's one more of these enemies. And it almost knocked me off, which would have sucked. He's an idiot. I love Hawkwood. But there you get Dragon Chaser's ashes. But the thing with Hawkwood is he doesn't lead you to the boss. And he doesn't follow you around. Instead, he leads you up here. He does Path of the Dragon here. Which, as you can see, there's a big dragon, like just colossal mountain-sized dragon there. But he does Path of the Dragon here, and it gets you a thing. It's a thing I don't want, and so shut up, stop calling me. But I don't want it, so I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, the whole point of summoning him is to do that, and not to fight or beat the boss. Which is why I'm not putting a limit on him. Because the whole point of the limit is to not overly rely on a summon to help me through a boss. But now heading up here, you can fall and die. And then here there's a chest, 3 Twinkling Titanite. Like I said, as long as you got a fast weapon class, they're not bad. And fists are pretty fast, so we'll take it. But here, standing in front of a dead dragon, is Havel. And Havel's got this fun thing where if they hit you once, they hit you twice. Guaranteed. And they can power through your attack, but you can't power through theirs. And if he does that, then he has a lot more defense. Like, could you hear me mashing the button? As soon as I took the first hit. But yeah, he can swing straight through. Like, you can hit him in the face with a halberd and he'll just swing through it just like that. Like, my man does not care. So you have to be very careful with him. You cannot trade blows with him like you can with most other people. But eventually he goes down. You get Dragon Tooth and Havel's Great Shield. And here he was protecting a Titanite slab. And then from there, you can drop down here, break your ankles, which takes half of your health bar. great magic barrier. And break your ankles again. And this puts you back where the dragon was. So, killing ancient wyvern. So, killing them is a very good idea. And also, this thing has a chance to drop its staff, which is very good in a few different ways. But back to the bonfire. Once you kill Havel, then you can head to the Old Wolf of Farron bonfire. And remember to stay hydrated. But you can head up here. And there was a stray demon up here. So if you didn't kill them before, then you can now. The one hanging out over here who shoots boulders at you. And whose soul can get you Havel's ring. And well, how their soul could get you Havel's ring. Once you beat Havel, his armor set is here. So you can pick that up. And now, real quick, we can head back to Fireling Shrine. And hopefully get some levels in.
Ah.
But also Umbral Ash.
Gracious let I.
And I don't know everything that gives you, but I do know that it allows you to buy Titanite chunks, Twinkling Titanite, and Titanite scales infinitely. As many as you need, as many as you want. So long as you have the souls, you can buy them. Also, from last time, you can buy Lorian's set once you beat the Twin Princes. Didn't point that out.
Ashen one.
Welcome us. Very then take.
But 7-4, 7-5. Uh, 0-6, 0-8. Sure, why not?
Farewell, Ashen Maiden.
So we're close to a level. Sadly, not quite enough.
Ah, just what?
Oh yeah, we have a bunch of weapons. I forgot about all the weapons we can sell. How could I possibly forgotten about all the weapons we could sell? Calamity Ring. Havel set. Not using that this run. Havel's Great Shield. I'm gonna keep it because of the HP regeneration, because I love HP regeneration. But not gonna use it. But Drake Blood Greatsword, Rickard's Hatchet, Dragon Tooth, Dragon Slayer Spear. Just sticking to our 9 halberds. Don't care about that, don't care about that, don't care about that.
Ashen.
What did we need? 67. Ah, well. Don't need it. Hopefully. But now we can head back to the Great Belfry. And HP regeneration isn't going to help us a whole lot here. We still don't have the fire. I still forgot to pick up the fire one. Whoops. The rest of this should be good, though. So, these messages about nothing will remain doesn't matter. We're gonna ring anyways and get ourselves a cutscene. So now the area is very stormy. And it's a lot easier on the eyes. We can also drop down onto these clouds. And now there's a fog wall we can traverse. And that brings down the boss. The second boss of this area. King of the Storm. Ow. But you generally want to stay around their head. As that's the weak spot, and being directly under them, I thought you were gonna go for a different attack, and I messed up the timing there. But being directly under them generally leads to them doing a very difficult to dodge attack. But you take them out, and then you get a cutscene. And I have not fought this boss in so long. That I don't remember his moves. I do remember he has a flying move. I was mashing that dodge button. Okay. Yeah, that's generally how Nameless King goes for me. The first attempt is me going, I don't know how to fight him, and then he hits me once, and I'm just never allowed to heal. That's why I opened this up in the beginning. Because I wanted to see if I had the one that gives you extra health. The Estus one. But I guess not. Which is a little tragic. Also, you can see an item through the fog. Down by our feet. But yeah, I, for the life of me, cannot remember how to fight Phase 2. They're kind of like the dancer. In that sense. I can also never get the timing of that move down either. Okay. What are you doing? They just pulled a me and just forgot how to play the game for a second. Which, like, understandable, I do that all the time. But they're the boss. You should remember how to fight. That second swing just keeps missing. But we're still getting swings in. Phase 2 is probably going to take a few attempts. Because I just cannot remember their moveset. And for some reason they keep doing that. Where it's like, they hit me once, and then it's like, alright, I'm just never getting that health back. Yep. Yep. Because it's like, I don't know if it's just Halberds, because I did this like a week ago with the with a Great Scythe back on console. And the first attempt went exactly like that, where Phase 2 lasted about 7 seconds, and I didn't get a single attack in. But the second attempt, I nearly no-hit them. Like, it was a really good attempt. And I don't know if Halberds are just slower and I don't know how to properly wield them. Which is definitely at least partially true, but it's like I just forgot how to fight the boss. Especially phase 2. Okay. I pressed the dodge button. But yeah, this is basically just what it is. It's like, I can get past phase 1 no problem. Then phase 2, my brain just dies. I pressed dodge, but okay, whatever. At least I got an attack in this time. Again, it's like, I did this like a week ago. And yeah, sure, the first time, phase 2 lasted 7 seconds and I didn't get a single attack in. But the second time, I only got hit like once or twice. Whereas this time it's just like, nope, 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 nope. And I swear to God, it's because I'm recording. Because every single time, whenever I'm not recording, it's totally fine. Something about recording just kills my performance. I mean, it can also partially be Halberds, but I don't imagine, or like, just something in me doubts that Halberds are so much slower than scythes that it's performing, that it's creating like this much of a detriment in performance. I rolled too early, but it's fine apparently. Is it a thing of like OBS lag? Like, is OBS causing a slight lag? Because I know that it did that once in Dark Souls 1. I haven't uploaded that run yet, but I do know that it happened once in Dark Souls 1. But then, also that. It's like, if I don't attack him, he doesn't do that follow-up. But if I do attack, he does have the follow-up. Okay. Okay. It's like every single time I got hit by the first attack and then dodged the second. But there I dodged the first, but then get hit by the second. delayed attack. Nope, just run away. Running away works. Yeah, if you get too far away from him, then he just spams those attacks. It's like, that attack, I can reliably dodge that attack. That attack as well. I used to be able to dodge all of these attacks. I know, because he threw all of these attacks out last time I fought him. Again. Like a week ago. Again, with another slow weapon class. It's like I specifically used the Great Scythe because of how slow it is. Because I knew that I was gonna have to deal with a Nameless King with a slow weapon class, which I'm not used to. Oh my god. Right. Again, I have no idea why that took me so many attempts. It really should not have. Because, again, I did this, like, this specific boss fight, like, last week. And with another slow weapon, specifically to prepare for this. I don't know why that went so much worse. I do think it's because this time I was talking, whereas I wasn't talking before. But, whew. Either way, we beat him. We got through all of Archdragon Peak, including Nameless King. Took way too many tries, but we did it. We will clear up the rest of this stuff, along with, I believe, the game in the next part. So, yeah.